Live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you along here this morning. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 23 minutes and we'll go from there. Okay. Just getting some things lined up here, getting all that I need because there is a lot of stuff going on here. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Mr. Bulgy, good morning. Waylon, good morning to you. As you can tell, ready to head to a bull sale immediately after this. Union Center, South Dakota is where I'm headed. As soon as I get some of this stuff here lined up, ready to go. All right, Union Center is where I'm headed. Got a weekend of bull sailing going on here. So many that they're having them on Sundays too. And next week is going to be today's my start of the bull sale run. All right, I got to get phone numbers ready to go here. Oops. Wayno, I got to get you on there. 3061. My pen is so damn cold it won't work this morning. How cold is it in the studio? Well, my temperature right now says 40 on my little thermometer I have over here. So it's cold enough that my pen froze up. I don't know what the hell it is here outside. I'll get that shortly here. I'll get it shortly. Hold on. I'll let you know here shortly here. I got to get this one too. Okay. All right. Morning, Karen. Welcome back to the studios here. It is morning, Dave, Minnesota. Good to have you along. Currently, it is 5 below zero with a wind chill of 29 below. But it's supposed to get up to 18 today, 31 tomorrow, mid 30s throughout the week, and then next Saturday should be close to 40. The calm before the storm is what I'm worried about. That's what I'm really worried about. See you in Union Center. All right. Got that. It's a busy, busy time of the springtime for myself, which is good. I enjoy it. All right. Let's see. Feels like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Can't remember. Maybe I'm not missing anything. It's always a chance, though, isn't there? Got the bull sale season. All kinds of good ones coming up around the area here. Of course, I'm only going to tell you the ones that advertise on my show, which is normal, right? As it should be. Feels like 24. We're supposed to get to 10. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, after this last week, I'm actually acclimated to it a lot better than I was last Saturday. The other day, it was like 8 above zero, and I had just my bibs and sweatshirt on, and I thought that felt pretty good. And I'm a cold person. I hate being cold. Absolutely hate it. With a passion. A big passion. Let's see here. That one doesn't advertise with me. That one doesn't advertise with me. That one doesn't advertise with me. So there you go. Let's see, the ones that do advertise with me. I know I got a couple more on here that I just pulled up the other day. Where is it? There. That one's a long ways out. But he's got me on. Jim, good morning. Good morning to you. Oops. Let's go here today. That one. Okay. Let's see what else. I think we got them. I think we're good to go here. Sorry for being distracted. I know I should have had it done ahead of time, but I like to get on YouTube early because sometimes they like to mess with me. I can't forget about the one that's going today. It's amazing. A lot of these guys anymore having them at their own ranch, which I think is easier on the bulls. I really do. To a point, I don't know. Maybe you don't have this if you're not set up like it'd be like me trying to have a sale here, right? I don't have a heated facility. So if you have it though, I think you could look into it. I think it really works nicely. I think. So there you go. What else is going on here? All right. Let's get some people lined up. Let's give them some calls here. Wayne, be ready. Gotta make sure. Excuse me. I think my pen quit, so I'm just going by like indentations on the paper right now. No, this.
Hey,
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm answering a question here. Scott Bulgy here, the sale at Union Center on the internet. No, they don't. That's one of the few here that's not. They have it at the ranch outside of Union Center, but it's Rounds Angus if you want to look it up. And they don't have it on the internet for some reason. I don't even know if they have internet in that building. It's a nice little heated shop though. So
you have a lot of sales coming up?
I got a lot of sales coming up.
That's good.
Starting today, after I get done here, I got to bus down to Union Center, South Dakota. And then next week, Friday, I'm Sorority Charlet. Then next Saturday, I got Schriefer and 21 Angus. And then February 15th, I got Wassums. And March 4th, I got Sorensen's up in Williston. And I'm covering the western side of North and South Dakota pretty well.
So are you finding that the bulls' value on all these, even though different breeds, are pretty consistent?
No.
Okay.
Well, it depends.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
It depends on how many they sell. If you're looking at an average, like an overall average on what bulls sell, whether black, red, white, and Sim Angus or whatever, that's pretty close to average, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But when you actually go to the sales, it really depends on how many bulls are selling.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at, you take a Brooks in there selling 180 bulls,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at somebody that's selling 30, 40 bulls. The guys that's selling 30, 40 to I think the right number is right by that 40 to 80. That's where a lot of people want to be to really have a good sale. I mean, if you're just a non-Shoffs Angus Valley person, right? I mean, just a regular bull sale type thing. But once you get over that 100 mark, it seems like you're raising a lot of extra bulls for just the where you set your bottom at. And,
sure.
Which is also okay because there's a lot of people, that's where they're going to spend money to buy bulls is that bottom. So you're taking care of those guys too. You're not just catering to the high dollar market guys either. So I mean, it's a toss up. It really is. But the color of it really doesn't matter. If it's a good quality program and a good bull, they're going to spend money on it.
Okay. River just texted me, said, looking forward to talking to you guys.
So he's ready?
So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. You're locked in here. Let me give him a call in quick. And you pronounce the last name Klass.
Klass. Yep.
Okay. I was going to go all German and be Klaus.
I don't think he's German. He's Irish, actually.
Irish. All right. I guess got to double check a couple things there. It's 2, right? 209.
Let me tell you right now.
My pen quit on me here. I'm looking quickly here. I think it's 2. Yeah. All right. Stand by. I'm going to call him.
209 743. Yep. Yeah. That's it.
Turn that down a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. Now let's see if he picks up.
Hello.
River Klass, Scott Bachmeyer. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning? Where am I calling? Where are you sitting at right now having coffee?
I'm in California. I'm in the town of Murphy's. 553.
Are you experiencing any cold trend at all where you're at?
Oh, this is California. When it gets crazy cold here, in my area, it gets, way down to the low, 30s.
Nice.
Good morning.
Yeah, Wayne's on with you here right now. So
good morning, River. How you doing?
Wayne, how are you, buddy?
I'm well. Hey, Judy, my wife says hi too. So thanks for thanks for coming on with us today. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. This is fun. I'm looking forward to it.
we got some time here. I gave you a call a little bit earlier. We got about 10 minutes here before we actually get onto the radio side. So we're live on YouTube right now. And go at it that way a little bit here. I always do a little fun before pre-show, before I got to get serious and watch what I say.
I hear you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
California is it's one of those incredibly weird states, besides everything you hear about, where someone right now in California is feeding their cows and it's 15 degrees out and snowing, and there's someone that's getting ready to go to the beach because they're going to go surf because it's 70 to 80, 75 degrees.
Yeah.
All in one state. That's the craziest thing about this state.
Well, you're pretty long from north to south. You got a lot of coverage there.
A lot of coverage.
So River, now you're not far from the Sierra Nevadas, correct?
Yeah, Sierra Nevada. We're I'm in the Sierra Nevada. I'm at the foothill of it, and they run most of the state, and but I'm just at the foothill. I'm only at about 3,000 feet, so we get what we call pretty snow. It'll snow 3-4 times a year. It'll look real pretty. I'll make sure the fire's nice and warm, and then by the late afternoon or the next morning, the roads are cleaned off and everything's fine. No one's all that concerned.
Yeah, we don't have that.
No.
That sounds nice. Sounds nice.
Oh no. No, and my favorite thing is the wet. Like when a lot of those weather apps, my weather app actually works. Like it says it's going to start raining at 7 p.m. and literally at 7 p.m. drops start falling down. California is so easily digestible when it comes to weather. Like they can nail it to within a half hour.
Yeah, we still don't have that either up here.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone feeds them cows and births and takes care of them first year heifers. I have no idea how you guys do it.
Well,
I can leave cows out for 3 weeks because I know exactly what their weather's going to be, and I know on Saturday morning I got to get there before noon to get them in because weather's coming in. It's unbelievable.
Oh, we stick we have good enough covers out in like I live in the Badlands part of North Dakota here. And we have deep enough cover and good cedar trees here. I mean, they're safe down in the canyons. Artesian water. The only thing I keep close to home here is my first calf heifers, and I got those on feed here for last month, and I set out enough feed, so I have a bull sale I got to head to after the show here today, and I got to head down to central South Dakota for that one, and then so I just fed yesterday afternoon. I fed for a couple days, so they're stocked up, ready to go. They're on.
We're the same river. We have to feed too here, but all I have to do is go to the barn, throw some hay on the trailer on the back of the pickup, and then drive out and just run it through the pasture. But I could do it in a Carhartt jacket.
Yeah. I could, but I'd probably be stuck out there in my pickup. So
yeah, I know. So
River,
we're getting plenty of weather, plenty of water. We're just not. It's not warm enough for our grass. Normally, grass would be growing right now, but it's not. It's just warm enough.
Yeah. So River, Scott also does auctioneering work, so he does a lot of bull sales and such like that. So he's very well versed in all that as well. So if you need an auctioneer out there, hey, give him a call sometime. Take him to warm Northern California, right?
Well, I hear that the Northern California is way different than the people in Southern California.
I don't even. There's a Southern California.
Yeah, exactly. That's we do the same thing in the Dakota Territory. There's a lot of East versus West going on too.
I didn't even know there was anything south of Fresno. I that's news to me. I'll have to Google that. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, there's some questions I got to answer here. Sorry to cut you guys off here on YouTube. Yeah. Do you have to use pronouns at a bull sale? No, we don't do that. Eric he says too cold to watch in the garage, watching from the house here. How deep is my artesian well? I believe that they drilled. I believe it is only 125. I believe is how deep they went, and this was back. God. This was back in the 60s, and it had enough pressure that it shot above the drilling rig, above the top of the tower. So they had to neck it down quite a bit, and it's still flowing from that. Yeah.
125 feet, and you found water that would come out of the ground. That's
yeah.
We're at 500, 600, 700 feet before we hit anything that we could even call water.
Well, okay, so artesian is a lot higher around this area. So if we're doing drinking water like a well water, my well is, I believe, between 800 and 900 feet.
Wow.
Is where, but my neighbor tried to drill one just north of my place here, literally a mile and a half, and he drilled down to 1,200 and still didn't hit the aquifer that I'm in. So the Fox Hills Aquifer is a huge aquifer for most of western North Dakota, Montana, east to southeastern Montana into South Dakota. So I mean, it's a big one, but it so varies that it all depends. But we're very lucky. Our springs and artesian waters, they never freeze. I mean, right? We had 60 below last weekend with the wind chill, and my entire water tank was completely wide open with 56-degree water.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It is pretty interesting when I go out and hose off the horses right out of my well. In the middle of winter, I hose them down and clean their hooves. And it's so amazing how warm the water is at 56 degrees in the winter, and how cold 56 degrees is in the middle of summer.
Exactly. I forgot to do the stations. I'll give you a countdown. Radio stations, I'll give you a countdown here. Coming up in about 50 seconds. Let's see here. On a serious note, is production agriculture getting tougher there than anywhere else? Here's the hard thing, Mayor Cox. Thank you for listening in Mobridge, South Dakota. The production agriculture, the hardest thing that I see in the future is some of the outside investors buying up land for way more than what it's worth, raising our value of our property taxes to the point where it's getting very hard for young families to even be able to afford. And then the other one is the death tax and the capital gains tax. You can't pass on your family ranch or farm without selling half of it off just to pay for that. That's what's really keeping young people in agriculture. Stations 702-00, 702-00 Mountain Time. coming up here, 70200 on Mark. So you can get the lag on the YouTube channel. Let's see here. Farmer Tyler Ranch on YouTube. Small California farm. Pretty good to watch. I don't know what that means, Jim. Do you know what that means, River?
I have no idea what that means.
Tyler,
but I got
evidently there's a YouTube channel called Tyler Ranch out of California, and they do a little YouTube channel. I didn't know about it, but somebody's watching that, I guess. So good deal.
That's gotten pretty popular, where the ranches themselves or the farming communities will have their own YouTube channels, and they'll show how they're doing productions and such. And yeah, they're kind of scattered out there, but nothing like Ranch America, though.
No, we're going to talk about that when we get started up here. There's no doubt about it. We have literally 3 minutes here before airtime.
Well, I would like to talk about what that whatever that one fellow said about ranch land becoming expensive.
You want to talk about that too? Okay.
Oh, yeah. We've got a bunch of billionaires buying up a huge swath of California to put in a new city. And get this is the name of the city, California Forever. Literally, they're naming the city California Forever. And it's right in the center of our most fertile agricultural ground. And they're excited about building a new city in the middle, just paving over thousands of acres of the most beautiful black soil that you could throw a brick in there and grow a house.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want to do. They want to grow buildings, man. But I tell you, wait for the actual program so we can get on all stations here and cover 6 states and a couple Canadian provinces with that, because I have so much to say about that.
I'm right with you.
Man.
I'm right with you. That is a big the thing we bring up is 1% growing all the food for the rest of the people, and no one knows where it's being. They don't care about where it's being grown.
But here's the thing: these big urban billionaires, and all they are, there's no connection to the family farm or grandma's ranch, or there's none of that anymore. Nope. And they could care less if they're importing their food from somewhere else, because they would rather do that and turn the whole United States into a conservation project than to let farmers and ranchers do what they've been doing for years.
Right. Yeah, it becomes a romance for the outdoors and land than anything else, and that's not how we get to where we need to be.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things we find in my show, was these guys that are like, I talked to to a grandfather who talked about, when he was a kid, he would be able to buy the ranch next, the ranch next door. He could buy that to increase his ranch. Now, only a billionaire can buy that ranch next door.
Yep.
And they don't. They want to kick the cows off and stop growing wheat, and they just want to let they go back to natural prairie, and which means that the poor rancher that was next to him has elk running all over his property
and weeds too. Here, stand by. We're going to go quiet here for both of you guys. Here, we're going to go quiet for the last 30 seconds leading up. Stations, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. $15 seconds, stations 15. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Dakota Territory on great radio stations like KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY, Mobridge, South Dakota, K-Fire 550 out of Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB 910 in Minot, and on the western edge, KLTC in Dickinson. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, your host here for the next hour, reporting from a little piece of heaven I call the Badlands, a little bunkhouse here in the Badlands. And a big thanks and a shout out to all of the rural telecom providers that provide internet, allowing all of us the fastest internet in the nation throughout North and South Dakota. Thank you so much for all you do for the rural broadband, and also big thanks to all the rural electrics dealing with the bitter, bitter cold and power outages that some may be experiencing. They're out there making sure your power stays on. And also, thank a coal miner, because that's where your power is coming from, because it ain't coming from solar or wind right now. That's for sure. Coming up today, we have a great one. We're going to go to a Ranch America. It's a program on the Outdoor Channel. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. A few announcements coming up on Bowman Livestock Marketing. One of my great sponsors that are coming on for 2024. Big sale coming up Monday, January 22nd, a stockhouse special plus a regular weigh-up sale. Weigh-up sale at 10 a.m., bred heifer stockhouse sale at 12:30. You can go on bowmanlivestockmarketing.com and find more information on who and which cattle are coming in. Bull sales coming up. Well, today I'm going to be, as soon after the program's done, heading down to Union Center, South Dakota, heading on a 3.5-hour trip here. Rounds Angus is selling today. Sorority Charlet selling next Friday, January 26th. Schriefer Red Angus on Saturday, January 27th. 21 Angus on January 27th. The Wassum Red Angus family is going to be selling theirs at the Wicks Barn in Richardson on February 15th. And Sorensen Sim Angus, that sale is coming up on March 4th. I'll be at those sales coming up your way as part of it. Well, we have two guests. So, we always want to welcome Wayne Muth here. He's our local scorer for all antlers. Wayne, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Scott.
And we're going to invite River Klass here, the host of Ranch America. Good morning, River, from sunny California, right?
Well, not sunny yet. It's still 6 o'clock in the morning, so we ain't got sun up yet. I'm looking around. I think.
See, this is the fun part. You're in 6 o'clock. I'm in the 7 o'clock hour, and Wayne is in the 8 o'clock hour, and we're all on one phone call here. So, Wayne, you've been up for a long time over the rest of us here.
Yes, exactly. I've had breakfast, my coffee, and showered, and all that stuff. So I'm ready to go.
He's looking for lunch.
Yeah, he's already making plans. He's probably fancy enough, River. He probably does brunch with his wife.
That's very true. He's now retired Wayne Muth. So
yes, exactly.
All right. Well, River, tell us a little bit about the Ranch America television program here, because you do something more than just what the Outdoor Channel usually shows, which is different hunting programs. Tell us a little bit about Ranch America.
Yeah, I think I got real fortunate. A couple of producers came to my small town, and they had an idea. They had another TV show, and they still do, called Fishmonger, and it was about how tough, what it takes to get fish to your table. To what these guys that go out there on these crawlers and all these different ships and bring fish to the shores. And they said maybe there's something about beef, and they for some reason got in touch with me. That's a much longer story, and they met me, and I sat around and a fire on my ranch, and just after a beer or two, I couldn't stop talking about how people don't understand what it takes. Not the people on this show, probably not, but the people out there have no idea what it takes to get a ribeye to your local market, and for you to get that piece of ribeye under plastic, on a styrofoam plate, and that you're going to buy and go put it on your grill or in your skillet. And I told them, you know what, you guys, those guys go out and fish. They can go out and hook a fish, bring it into shore, put a piece of plywood out, slice that thing up, lay out the fillets, and any restaurant, any consumer, anyone can just come up and buy it and start serving it in their restaurant, in their house, no problem. But if you want to raise beef, you are going to be loving on this animal for a year, 18, 20 months. You're going to have to feed it until it feeds you. And I went on and on about this, and they're like, there's got to be a show in this. And I'm telling you, the first thing I said, I was like, I don't know that there's a show. And I went to the USDA website, and that was the most fascinating thing. And I'd never done it before, and I'm 60 years old. And it was incredibly interesting to find out the statistics on what ranching is in America. The average herd in America, 55 head. People think there's just these big, giant ranches like Yellowstone with 1 million acres and thousands of cows, and they've got a bunkhouse and someone's playing a guitar. And I'm telling you, it's not. It's mom and dad Mom's probably working in town at the school. Dad's a welder or a farrier. And at night and the weekends, they're raising 50 to 100 to 200 head. They're going to the livestock market on the weekends. They're dropping things. Well, they're going to rodeos on the weekends. And then on Wednesday, on Mondays or Tuesdays, depending on when the heifer sales are, they're going to the market and they're dropping off calves. And this is where our beef is coming. And my biggest concern is the fact is when you go to the market and you're going to pick up that ribeye or that filet or even your ground beef, especially your ground beef, we don't get to know where that beef comes from. There is no country of origin in America for beef. There is for fish. If you're at your local market there in Mandan or anywhere else, you go up to the fish side, and if there's some fillets or there's a whole sea bass, it has to say whether this came from Thailand, Mexico, Nicaragua, or San Diego. Mm-hmm. But we have no idea if that beef is Canadian, Australian, Nigerian, Brazilian. No idea. And it kills me that so few people are raising so much beef and working so hard for so little.
River, we just have a couple minutes here before our first break, but when you look at what we do is, say, mom and pops, if there's still the heart and soul of raising that beef out there, I always tell people when they ask, what do? I say, my job is to raise grass. My byproduct is a cow and that calf operation. So first and foremost, I'm trying to take care of that land as best I can. Do you get to cover that through any of your outdoor channel too?
It's probably the very, very first episode or second episode I have. We were at Stemple Creek out on the coast of California. And it's soil is everything.
Yeah.
It's absolutely everything. And the grass is what the cows eat nothing but, my biggest pet peeve is when people say it's grass fed. You know what? I don't know a cow that's not grass fed.
Exactly. Yeah.
At
least one point in their life. Yeah.
Yeah. I get grass finished, but a grass fed is not a term. All cows are grass fed, and they have to have the greatest nutrition from the ground. And as there is not a better environmentalist than I know than our ranchers and farmers in this United States.
Okay, well, hold off right there. I hate to cut you up. We're up against our first break. We'll have more. River Klass from Ranch America, a new program on the Outdoor Channel. Wayne Muth is also sitting in the background with my guest. We'll be back with more on Dakota Prairie Outdoors right after these messages.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Ranch. Come see us at our annual bull sale, January 20th at 1 o'clock. If you want cows that keep easy with good feet, udders, and dispositions, come take a look at these bulls. Our cows are run like most commercial outfits, just grass, hay, and iodized salt. Mother Nature sorts them for fertility and mothering ability. These bulls have excellent feet and dispositions that are out of hardworking cows. Give me a call at 605-347-0890. Hope to see you sale day, January 20th at 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next land auction. Wednesday, January 24th, 436 acres in Pembina County. Thursday, January 25th, 69 acres in Eddy County. And also on the 25th, 1,511 acres in Ransom County. Also join them for the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction on Wednesday, February 14th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to Pifers.com today. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schriefer family for their annual production sale Saturday, January 27th at the ranch north of Golden Valley, North Dakota. Selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, first cycle fancy registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Serving flesh kila at noon, sale time 2 p.m. Central Time. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production sale. Saturday, January 27th at the ranch north of Golden Valley.
Cattlemen, do you want market-topping calves at sale time? You need predictable Charlet genetics from Sorority Charlet. Hi, this is Kaylee from Sorority Charlet Ranch. Our 41st annual bull sale is Friday, January 26th at the ranch west of Bowman. We are offering 60 performance-tested yearling Charlet bulls. Free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. Sorority Charlet, January 26th. You can follow us on Facebook and DV Auction. If you haven't tried a Sorority Charlet bull, ask a cattleman that has. He's the one with the big smile on sale day.
The Sorensen Ranch production sale is Monday, March 4th, 1 p.m. Central Time, Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. Your source for Sim Angus bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Average birth weights of 80 pounds and an average 205 weight is 756 pounds. Selling 42 Sim Angus bulls and 45 commercial open heifers. For more information, go to SorensenRanch.com or DV Auction. You can call Lauren at 701-641-1140. The Sorensen Ranch production sale, Monday, March 4th, Sitting Bull Auction in Williston. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. You can hear my daily program on all of these great radio stations, plus about 20 more all across the Dakota Territory. Good to have you along here this morning. My guest is River Klass with Ranch America. You can find that program on the Outdoor Channel. Wayne Muth is in the back here helping me out. And tell us this, River, I had to cut you off a little bit, but how did you and Wayne meet? If you're from California and Wayne's over here trying to help me brand once in a while, how the heck did you guys meet?
Match.com. No, I'm kidding.
FarmersOnly.com.
That's right. No, that is my favorite story of the last couple of seasons that we've got with the show is that Wayne was sitting there in his house and, you had your classic North Dakota winner, and the winner he was watching the show was one of the worst winters that North Dakota ever had. What'd you say? Of 100 inches of snow?
Yep, that's about right.
Wasn't that right? And,
yes, it is.
And so he was stuck in the house and he had nothing to do but watch TV and be nice to his wife. And he was watching my show, and he was kind enough to say, "Hey, this guy's got something to say." And he took it upon himself to call the Outdoor Channel and get an email address of my producer, and then email my producer and say, "Hey, I'm not a stalker, and I really think." And he was like, "Y'all are going out to Colorado and Wyoming and Montana, and we know that there's ranches there, but you guys have no idea what goes on in North Dakota, and you got to come see this place." And we we hooked up with him and we flew into Bismarck, and we couldn't have been more impressed and surprised by the incredible people we met in and around Mandan and Bismarck, with the incredible ranchers. And Wayne, you'll have to remember the names because I've had too much. But the guy with the bulls, what was his name?
Yeah, we kind of had set it up and to help River a little bit. When I talked to Scott Laseth, who was the executive producer, we worked for about 3 months setting up the content. So I really did the content producing here in North Dakota. So I set up ranches and all kinds of things, because Ranch America, it stems not just from the ranching cattle, it's the cowboy rodeo community, the working horses, the beef processing to the restaurants. So we set up like Schaaf's Angus Ranch, where Kelly and Marty down there, and Ellingson's, Chad and Julie, they were great. We took them to Chad Burgers out to Bucking Bulls. We got to the Kermit's and Kids.
We met Chad on his birthday, and the guy was like, "Okay, here's some guy at his freaking show. What the heck?" And he didn't tell his wife anything about. He told his wife there's some TV shows coming by, so she cleans the house up like they're going to be coming in, and we're going to photograph her and him in the house. And we're like, and she was so pissed at her husband Chad. She's like, "Chad, these guys don't want to talk about us in the house. They want to be out there looking at them bulls." And typical husband wife, he's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't give you the whole story." And Chad was unbelievable. We drove around and saw some of the most amazing PBR bulls I've ever seen, and the gentleness and the athletes that these bulls are, and the amazing way that this rough stock person takes care of his animals. That's what I want to show people. I want people to say, "Oh, rodeos are, they're terrible. They treat those bulls terrible. They treat them horses terrible." And in one of our episodes, we were in Cheyenne for the Frontier Days, and there's a whole scene about me. I'm talking to the vet, and I asked the vet, "Tell us the truth. Tell America how do these guys that own these cows, own these bulls, own this rough stock, how do they treat their animals?" She leans into me and says, "Honestly, they treat these animals better than they treat their wives and girlfriends."
Well, they're making them money. So
that's right.
How does for me, I mean, I'm sure you listened during the break. I have an outdoor program. I love hunting. I love trying to put the hunting with the agriculture because they work so well together. And you can tell by my sponsors why, this is what they're coming on an outdoor project. How do you mix in the outdoor hunting, maybe fishing side of it with the agricultural side?
So that's been a little bit of something we've tried. And actually the Outdoor Network has said, "You know what? We've got plenty of shows that hunt. We got plenty of shows that hunt and cook. We have plenty of shows that just cook." And the producers actually, when we showed them the beginning, what we were thinking about, they're like, and we showed me, because I own 2 restaurants here in a little tiny town called Murphy's, and they're like, and so the producers are like, "We got this guy. He runs a couple thousand acres. He runs his cattle through online at Calaveras Cowgirl Beef. He takes the beef we sell at the restaurant. This is a perfect thing." And they were like, "No, we really want to hear about what it takes, what is happening." As I'm sitting here, I'm in my Ford out there. I'm just outside going into my ranch to feed this morning, and I'm watching 2 trucks go right by with their stock trailers. What's someone doing at 6:26 in the morning, going to a ranch? So it's been pretty interesting how they haven't needed for me to actually do the hunting and the cooking.
Sure.
But every show, once we've been around the ranches a little bit, they're like, "Hey, we got a bunch of grouse, or we got a bunch of 10s, or and we end up spending a little time going out with especially with some nice dogs, horseback, and just taking off and go looking for some birds. And it's for me, I've never been a hunter because I raise beef and it takes up all my time.
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
and my freezers are full with beef. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
It's been some of the most fascinating and wonderful parts.
It's a nice twist because I've been doing an outdoor program almost 20 years now, and you see how it's changed on the television side to, you can only get the biggest buck, and we're always after the biggest this and this, and it takes away from, I don't know if it gives it a bad reputation in some areas, or are people passing up taking management bucks or doing the right thing by managing the deer herd or whatever type of thing that you're hunting. And then it's nice to have a refreshing take on that on the outdoor side, because there for a while, the outdoor channel is pretty strict about what you can or can't put on, especially when it came to like predator hunting. You can't do any wolf hunting. I used to help a guy do a lot of prairie dog shows, and they took all those off of the outdoor channel. So it's nice that they have something that with the egg and the farming and ranching side.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think that they had enough shows like that. And my producer has another show called Dead Meat. And this fella, Scott goes out there and he is killing iguanas, parrots. He goes all over the world and shoots things that, you can't imagine, first of all, shooting, let alone eating. And he's marvelous. It's an incredible show that people should look up, called Dead Meat. And he is an incredibly funny, sarcastic, fun guy, but it's more in line with the outdoor channel that, they kill it, they cook it, they eat it. Yeah. Where Ranch America, we're really trying to show someone that, let's say you're sitting at home and you aren't a rancher. You're a hunter. You're watching Outdoor Channel. You're a hunter. You're a carnivore. And you've heard about people that, you've gone by, maybe the dentist office, you saw a bull sale magazine and you're like, who the heck spends $500,000 for a bull? Why would a bull be worth $500,000? And this show's trying to say, when you've got a first year heifer and, it's February in Montana, and that calf, you're the one pulling that calf out at 2 a.m, you're going to want a birth weight that's going to work for you.
Exactly.
And people just don't understand that we as ranchers, it's hard for them to put it in their perspective, but we love the animal. We respect the animal. We care for that animal. And then we're going to eat that animal.
Absolutely.
And
I hate to cut you off, but we got our next break. It's a hard break here, so stand by. We'll have more with River Klass and Wayne Muth coming up your way, and we'll answer your questions too. You bet. Text 425-6651 for questions.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Ranch. Come see us at our annual bull sale, January 20th at 1 o'clock. If you want cows that keep easy with good feet, udders, and dispositions, come take a look at these bulls. Our cows are run like most commercial outfits, just grass, hay, and iodized salt. Mother Nature sorts them for fertility and mothering ability. These bulls have excellent feet and dispositions that are out of hardworking cows. Give me a call at 605-347-0890. Hope to see you sale day, January 20th at 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next land auction. Wednesday, January 24th, 436 acres in Pembina County. Thursday, January 25th, 69 acres in Eddy County. And also on the 25th, 1,511 acres in Ransom County. Also join them for the Upper Midwest timed online only equipment auction on Wednesday, February 14th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pifers.com today. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schriefer family for their annual production sale Saturday, January 27th at the ranch north of Golden Valley, North Dakota. Selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, first cycle fancy registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Serving flesh keela at noon, sale time 2 p.m. Central Time. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production sale, Saturday, January 27th at the ranch north of Golden Valley.
Cattlemen, do you want market-topping calves at sale time? You need predictable Charlet genetics from Sorority Charlet. Hi, this is Kaylee from Sorority Charlet Ranch. Our 41st annual bull sale is Friday, January 26th at the ranch west of Bowman. We are offering 60 performance-tested yearling Charlet bulls. Free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. Sorority Charlet, January 26th. You can follow us on Facebook and DV Auction. If you haven't tried a Sorority Charlet bull, ask a cattleman that has. He's the one with a big smile on sale day.
The Sorensen Ranch production sale is Monday, March 4th, 1 p.m. Central Time, Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. Your source for Sim Angus bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Average birth weights of 80 pounds and an average 205 weight is 756 pounds. Selling 42 Sim Angus bulls and 45 commercial open heifers. For more information, go to SorensenRanch.com or DV Auction. You can call Lauren at 701-641-1140. The Sorensen Ranch production sale, Monday, March 4th, Sitting Bull Auction in Williston. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. One of the few live radio programs still in the upper Midwest. Good to have you along here today. Wayne Muth is with us, along with River Klass, with the show on the Outdoor Channel called Ranch America. River, we got some questions. Are you ready to take some of these on?
Bring it on.
All
Bring it
right.
on. It's and just the first question. It's Klass with a K, not C.
Like Klass, yeah. See, I told
you
Wayne
got it.
I was going to go all German, my ancestry of being German, and be Klaus, but he said, no, you're not German.
No, I am terrible. I just had dinner last night with my mom and dad, and I to this day I still call myself Italian because my mother's full-blooded from Naples, and so I'm only half Italian and half German. I mean, and a quarter German and a quarter Irish. But the Italian is so strong in my family that we all just consider ourselves Italian.
Yeah, and nobody's going to argue with your mom anyway.
Nobody will argue with my mom.
No, not at all. All right, so the first question comes up. So the mayor of Mobridge that's listening here, he's also a meat inspector. His question says, does your show go into the processing facilities to show where the beef undergoes the career change, or do you just focus on the production side?
That's I love that question. And I think that's the toughest thing we've had. we've done twice. We were out in Utah just a month ago, and where we were bringing in the hot carcasses, and they were coming in, and we show them coming in, and we show them taking 14 days, 21 days to cool and to dry age, and then we went through the full breakdown of the carcass. It's really been a tough struggle. People have no problem watching a fish come out of the water, slice its head off, gut it, and then pull out a fillet. But we have a tough time showing getting into an actual kill house harvest. They call that we don't even call it a slaughterhouse anymore. We call it harvesting. I mean, that's a tougher side, and I just like you guys are hunters. I've never met a hunter out there who doesn't go out and they're looking at what they're going to kill, and they spend all their time, their money, their gun, their equipment. They take the animal down, and the first thing that goes into their head is gratitude for the animal. And I really would love to be able to show that the ranchers gratitude for the animal, even when they're taking them to market, taking them to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
It is an incredibly important part. And then we do go into, even though the producers hate it, I do go into the fact that we're strangled by the 4 big processors.
Yeah.
It's the only. I mean, I have a restaurant. If asparagus comes into my restaurant and it goes up a couple of bucks a pound, I can be like, okay, the asparagus is more expensive. Now this dish is going to be a little more expensive. I get to tell the customer coming into the restaurant, hey, if you want to have asparagus, it's going to cost you this much. I'm a price setter. Now, when I go with my beef, I'm a price taker. Yeah. I'm not allowed. I can't be like, oh, you know what? I got 35 calves all going to market. I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to, if you want to buy my calves, you got to pay, you're going to pay, 165. You're going to pay 226. You're going to pay whatever it is per 100 pounds. I'm not allowed to do that. I just go in and I get whatever they tell me. And that has been the most remarkable thing that I've seen, is that nowhere in any market does anyone get, and I don't know enough about farming, but 1% of the population of America produces all the food for the other 99%. And we are out there, doing our best to keep the soil as best we can and produce something so that the rest of America can eat. And we don't even have a say in what we get paid.
River, you look at 1% feeding the rest of the 99, and we're up against some organizations like HSUS, World Wildlife Fund, PETA, of course, and many of these organizations that are very anti-agriculture, but they're also very anti-hunting. And then they turn around and they start giving money to certain conservation efforts that are opposite of what is good for the farming and ranching side, but it's money back into their pockets. And some of these farmers and ranchers need to find some way to make an extra dollar here or there, because we were talking about this before the show started. What's the one thing that's affecting agriculture in the future? And it is outside money taking away production land and taking that land out of production and putting it into something else. And they're working together with all these big money guys, especially out in your state, in the Hollywood area. A lot of those, they like to buy up land. They love land.
It is the toughest thing I've seen. We have a place right now, and people can look this up, and this is the dumbest name ever invented for a town. It's called California Forever. And if you go and Google California Forever, it's 18,600 acres right in the middle of Northern California, right in the valley. This is the most, you guys, how important great, deep, rich soil is. This is in the dead center of the valley. and a bunch of tech billionaires are bought 18,000 plus acres so they can build a new town. Now, California doesn't need a new town. We've got all kinds of, in our towns, we've got all kinds of places people live. They want to take away 18,000 acres from ranchers and farmers, and they want to take and build a new town on 18,000 of the most beautiful soil that grows anything you want to grow. Now, I get it. If you're going to build a town up here where I live, up in the foothills, we got nothing but scrub brush and manzanita. You know what? Nothing can grow up here except wine grapes and cows, and that's great. And we love what we grow up here. But this is soil that is in the valley, that it can grow anything, and it kills me that people are paving over this kind of land. And I mean, and we also, like, people. It bugs me that people don't understand, like, Ducks Unlimited. The reason why, some of the most wonderful reasons why we have the migration and the pathways of our migrating birds is because groups get together like Ducks Unlimited, and yes, they hunt them, but they also protect where they get to go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the funniest things. They're always like, well, how can you be a conservationist if you kill them? Well, you know what? I know a lot of people that are vegans that have deer and pigs running all over their property, and they're complaining all day long that there's so many deer and pigs, messing up their 4 acres on their property, but but they won't let anyone shoot them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, well, there you go. We don't have wolves to eat them. We're not eating them, so they're gonna get a lot more of them are gonna run around.
Don't start the wolf thing here in this area. We're already fighting with that. All right. So a couple messages here. Gene says, I think it was JFK that said that farmers get told what they're going to be getting and pay the freight both ways. And Eric Serbazic down in the Pier area says the Cattleman Steakhouse in Pier used to raise their own beef and then sell it to their restaurant. So you see, when COVID came through a few years back now, you see a lot of the local ranchers, especially in my area, that started doing the website Buy Beef From Our Ranch, and they have the nice little story. They do some blogs, even vlogs that they do on their websites, and that's become kind of a big thing since the COVID side of thing. People kind of had a resurgence of buying local again. Is that something that's going to hang on, or are we going to go back to the big four telling us and the grocery stores exactly what they're going to get?
Oh, I think that's a really good point. I think that beef is going to go the way of, like, wine, and I think you're always going to get the beef that's in your local market that you don't know where it's coming from. It's perfectly good. It's corn. It's going to be corn finished beef, and you can always go and get there. But when COVID came around and ground beef became, $10, $11, $12 a pound, people started looking and saying, okay, where is this actual beef coming from? And I have a website, Calaveras-Cowgirlbeef.com. I'm not the cowgirl, my wife is. And I think that it's a really interesting thing because we sell at farmers markets, we sell online, I sell at my restaurant. Here's the interesting thing people don't understand is I can't go to my ranch, take a steer down, cut it up, and bring it to my restaurant. It has to go to a place, and that place, that harvest, that slaughter place has to be USDA certified to kill the steer. Then, if they don't cut and wrap, it has to get into a USDA transportation vehicle that's inspected by a USDA inspector to go to another place that is a USDA inspected cut and wrap, so that I can go and drive down and pick it up to bring it right back to my restaurant so I can serve it to you or sell it to you. It's, if it's really interesting what it takes to actually put a fillet or a ribeye or a tri-tip on the plate of someone when you raise beef. Now, I think that if you eat beef and you find your local rancher, That is the best thing you can do. Just like a wine, you're going to find a guy that or a gal that is raising beef. It's grass finished or it's corn finished. It tastes the way you want beef to taste, and you know how this animal is loved and raised. You know how that where it's lived its whole life, how it's lived its whole life, and those nutrients that are coming out of the soil, the love that the rancher's putting into it, is what you're going to take and put into your body, which is exactly where beef should be. Yeah. That's where we need to go. And I mean, and any rancher nowadays, the ranch. So I don't own, I lease, and all my lease property, they don't just make money off of me, giving them lease payments. One of my properties, they've got they've got a club that runs through, and it's a place where you're part of the membership. You can go and you can hunt on this ranch. They do weddings at this ranch. It's really, really difficult for a rancher nowadays to just go. I mean, I wish to God I could just wake up in the morning, go fix some fences, check my cows, and get paid when I go to the market. But you can't anymore. You can't. You gotta shuck and jive. You gotta take cows. You gotta promote your cows. You gotta go to farmers markets. You gotta sell. You gotta promote. You gotta do weddings. You gotta take people out on dude ranch rides. You've got to be doing everything to make your payments.
You got to do a radio morning show on Saturdays.
Yeah. There you go. Look at you. You got a pretty show. I've got a restaurant. My wife's a hairdresser. I tell everybody every day, they're like, "Oh, man, ranching's so hard." I'm like, "Yeah, it's hard, but there's nothing better than getting up before dark, saddle my horse, put him in the stock trailer, drive down the road, cup of coffee, and know that all I'm going to do today is check fence, check my cows, and if something's not looking good, rope them down, give that girl some medicine, check its pink eye, let it back up." That would be my favorite day ever. But that is 1 out of 40 days that's what my day is.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the end of the program here, which is another 5 minutes, tell us where we can find more information about your television program, Ranch America.
So it's Outdoor Channel. I love the Outdoor Channel. They're so good to us. We are one of the few shows that's not that isn't. Most people buy time on the show, but the Outdoor Channel actually gives us the money to make this show. They believe in us so much. It's a great network. But the Outdoor Channel is a tough channel because it's not a streaming channel. You can stream it. You can go to myoutdoor.com and pay the $4.99 or I'm not sure what it is and get that. A lot of DirecTV, Comcast, if you have the right conglomeration of shows, it's on there already. Or my favorite is Friendly TV, FRNDLY.com. They have hundreds of TV stations, including the Cowboy Channel and all these things, and then all of Outdoor Channel programming is on that. And right now, my first season is in reruns on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and we're filming the second season right now. It will be out this summer of 2024. And we've already been hooked up for our third season. So this is not going away. There's a lot of stories out there, and I want to tell every single one of them.
That's nice. That's good to have. Yeah. And, you're always invited up for branding. You can join Wayne and come on up here at the last Friday of May here, I believe, is what we're going to be doing this year.
Speaking of that, Scott, I did talk to the executive producers recently because River was going to be on the show, and I was thinking, question's going to come up, are they going to come back to North Dakota? And I said, we'd love to get River out to Scott's branding. It is a Badlands, tough country, rope and drag type branding, and it would be great to have him come out. And there's some other things I'd like to set up as well. So we can get you out here, River. I believe Scott Laseth, our executive producer, would send you out. We've got a local videographer that we could utilize here. We can
Are
grab
you talking
Carly
about my
here
lovely
from Megan.
Carly? I love that
Yes,
gal.
we'll get Carly here, and we'll bring her out and do a show out at Scott's. We'll hopefully we can plan for that if we can get something started for season 3 for Ranch America.
I would absolutely love that, because I want to put a shout out to where I hope my next horse comes from, the Frolics out there. Remember we went out there?
Fralick, the Fralick Ranch, Sonny.
Fralick's down there, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they-
Lance and
those-
Sonny down there, yeah.
yeah, Summer, was it Summer Fralick and her husband Lance? Was it Lance?
Lance, yeah.
Lance.
Sonny,
Man,
Sonny and Lance.
they raised. Man, I'm telling you, when I went out there, it's a good thing that I did not have an empty trailer, because I'd have been stuffed with their. And so I have it's where my next horse is coming from. So I'd love to come back out. I'd love to do some branding and look at it. I'd love to get my next horse out there. It's one of my favorite places I've been to in this whole show.
Yeah, well, you're definitely welcome. If you're a friend of Wayne's, you're always a friend of mine. So, and I'm going to check that show out. You brought me back to the Outdoor Channel, which I didn't think anybody would be able to do. And
Well,
yeah,
thank you very much. I get that. A lot of people that I talk to, they're often like, well, it's just hunting, whether you use a bow or you use a rod or you use a gun. And I'm like, well, Outdoor Channel's looking for other things to do. They know that there's more out there. And Ranch America and Fishmonger and Dead Meat, these are shows that are really trying to show people a different part of America. And I don't, besides Yellowstone, and I know that people have a bunch of ideas of how, glorious it is to throw a leg over a horse and ride out over the range and go look at cows. But I really want people to understand how incredibly difficult it is to take and get an animal to the market.
yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but we can talk Yellowstone all we can. Kevin Costner's anti-gun, and then he makes all his money having shows with guns. So. And I had a run-in with him in Deadwood years and years ago. So we have some history there, River. So, but anyway, as we get closer here, we got about 30 seconds. What else could you tell us here that we need to know before we leave?
Just thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. Wayne is my brother from another mother up there in North Dakota. Thank you, Wayne, for bringing me in and letting me meet so many incredible people. And I guarantee you, North Dakota, you don't have to worry. You don't have enough ski resorts for California to come in and invade your city like your country.
Oh,
good.
You can,
You
bet. You can find them more on the Outdoor Channel. Thanks for tuning in today. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the weekend. All right, sorry to cut you off the River. We're off for the radio station side of things. Mark Schrieffer says, yes, Scott, but you use electricity for your irons. Oh, I could bring back. Here's the thing, though, is some people use propane. If you want to go old school, we can pull out the wood pits, but it is going to take forever to get our cows done. So
that's not true. I use wood on mine just because I don't like the sound of the propane torch going off for 4 or 5 hours while we're branding.
Yep.
So we set up a feeder and we put the oak on the top and let it burn on the top, and it keeps dropping down coals. And we put 3 irons, 4 irons in there, and it's those things are plenty hot for branding. We run it all day long, and then you don't have that screeching propane noise that goes on for the whole day. I hate that. That noise kills me.
Well,
out at Scott's River, out at Scott's, he has 3 different pastures that they go to, and they brand in each one of them, so it's easier to move your stuff if there's a little generator there and you got some electricity. But when we drove out there last year, my friend Levi and I, we brought 4 horses out, and we pulled in, and there was a line of trailers. There's like 15 or 20 trailers, and it was like, this is amazing. And of course, his pastures are really big, and we get a lot of riders out there. And Levi and I went around the perimeter and got down into the deep stuff and pushed cattle out of the trees, and a lot of people would just follow the herd in, and it was a great group effort. And I thought it was great to see, and it would be great TV. So that's why I was hoping that Scott would give us the green light to do it this spring.
I'll work on Scott to get that. I'd love to get.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
went,
Well, River, since I have your phone number, I might send you a text so you can have me in your contacts, and we can keep in contact that way. So
I'd really appreciate that. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. I hate to run on you guys, but I have to go auction, and I got a 3.5 hour drive to get there. So I apologize for that, but you guys have a good day, and I appreciate you coming on the program.
I appreciate you. And thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Scott.
You bet. Maybe we could do this just before the show airs or something. We could get a schedule. Sure. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So, all right.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thanks, guys.
Tell you, Wayne, man, that Wayne, he's the producer that I need there. He's a promoter.
Well, if we could find enough time in a day to do our own version of this, I always wanted to do this kind of a version of the show and mix in the hunting aspect with it, like going up and asking a rancher to hunt and him telling you no, and actually being okay with him telling you no, and and take that side of it. So it's everybody doesn't just assume everybody's going to let them come in and do that, So, before you go here, one question: the wine comparison. Grocery store burger is McCormick Vody, and the 35-day aged beef is oat bourbon. Okay. Vodka. Oh, it was McCormick vodka, and yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
That's a very good. That's a good analogy. Absolutely.
One other thing before I let you guys go, I always tell people this when they ask me what my thought is about plant-based meat, and I tell them I have the original plant-based meat. My cows are vegans, my friend. So eating the meat is just like being vegan. So there you go.
There you go.
You guys have a good day.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. YouTube, thank you so much for hanging on for me. Sorry, got to go a little bit after show. That would have been a fun after show. There's no doubt about that. I'll try to get him back on. But we got to get going. Hit the road. See you down in Union Center.